All right, welcome back to episode 27 of To The Crib. It's your boy Delliks with my man Coach Bishop. How we feeling today?
Oh, feeling good, man. It's a great Sunday morning. We got week 8 starting today, so it's a fantastic day. A lot of big games here on this lineup. Just looking forward to all the action we're going to get today.
Yeah, it's a big slate. There are no bye weeks this week, which is interesting. There were 6 last week, so thanks NFL. But yeah, big week. It's also the beginning of the second half of the fantasy football regular season. Most regular seasons go 14 weeks. We just played 7. So here we go, down to the home stretch. So this is a big show for us. We're going to cover, obviously, every game and the rest of the slate, and also talk about different fringe plays, start your sits, and also go into some bets that we like. All right, let's hit it off right away. Los Angeles Rams at Dallas Cowboys. Right now, the Cowboys are favored by 6 points at home with over under of 45. Bishop, how do you see this game going?
So when I was looking at this game, the line's actually moved. It's another point. It's at 7 right now. It's actually the Rams are getting 7 here going on the road, so I'm really in love with that line. I think this is the typical game that your Dallas Cowboys end up losing. They're at home. They should win. But, this Rams team is very, very tough. They play everybody tough. They're in every single game. I don't see the Rams losing this game. I actually see them winning, but losing by 7. Nah, I'm taking Rams plus 7 all day. I just feel like this Rams defense is always just being slept on. They're good stopping the pass. They're good against the run. Aaron Donald's not nothing to mess with. I feel like he gets that defense up and ready to play each and every week.
Yeah. I think the Rams plus 7 is a great bet today as well. Dallas is coming off a bye week. For me, for Dallas, they need to get Pollard more involved, in my opinion. They're barely using him, so he's one of their best players. So I'm interested to see how they use him coming off the bye, see if they get him more involved like they should. There's not really many French players, to be honest. You're gonna start Tony Pollard. You're starting CeeDee Lamb. You're starting on the other side Puka and Cooper Kupp. Now, we'll talk about, let's say, the Rams backfield. They elevated Darrell Henderson back up to the active squad for the second time. So, he's going to be used in this game, but it's going to be a tough matchup. They might even have to use him to block more than anything because he's really good at pass protection. And Dallas's defensive front is going to be after Stafford. So, I'm hesitant to play Darrell Henderson in this game. What about you?
No, I'm gonna put him in my lineup. He showed me enough last week that he's the guy. It's just probably them just having to play with roster spots, who they can carry, when they can carry them, and then they can activate them just before the game. So I think that's kind of what we saw this week. Just throw them back down on the practice squad, make the numbers add up, and then just activate them for the game. So I think they had every intention to keep him as the back. It is going to be Freeman's still going to be a thing there. He's also going to get love. But to go on what you said with Pollard, I think you're right about them needing to get Pollard included. But this is not going to be a game where that's going to work out. The Rams only allowed 117 yards rushing on the ground total per game. I really don't see it. So Pollard's total prop is at 96.5, and I'm taking the under. I'm getting under 96.5 total yards today. Also, I think Dak Prescott goes for under 240. They have him at 240 and a half passing yards. I'm loving the under on Hez. This is a Rams defense that on average only gives up 220 in the air. So, Dak tends to struggle when he's bigger matchups. So I really don't see him getting there and hitting that number.
And then also, Brandon Cooks or Michael Gallup, are we playing them? No?
No, I'm not playing them in this matchup. Bench. Yeah,
and then what do you think about Ferg Daddy?
Ferg Daddy, I think, is a play.
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to be a lot of where he's going to have to check down and kind of just pop the ball out to his tight end.
All right. Yeah, I feel that. Who do you think wins the game?
Oh, I got the Rams winning, even.
Got the Rams winning? Yeah. Let's get the Rams on the W. That will bring them to 500. And that will bring Dallas to 4-3. All right, moving back on to Minnesota at Green Bay. Minnesota travels to Green Bay, favored by 1.5 points and the over-under is sitting at 42. Um, yeah, not much going on. Everybody's pretty much back for the Packers. You got Aaron Jones. He's gonna be full goal. But let's just, I don't know, man. Somebody tells me they're still gonna keep him like on a snap count. Christian Watson should be a full go and a better matchup than last week. Last week we thought that Christian Watson was not going to be covered by Surtain. It ended up being that he was. Mm-hmm. But either way, it was a bad game for them. So, and then Luke Musgrave was dealing with an ankle injury. They're saying he's going to try to give it a go because he's so tough, this and that and the other. But he was in a walkie boot like this week, and I don't know. I wouldn't play him. He's also dealing with the concussion from 2 weeks ago. So I would sit Luke Musgrave. Yeah, a lot going on with him. But yeah, how do you see this game going?
So me personally, I'm taking Minnesota to win this game. Minnesota's coming off of 2 big wins here back to back and getting that upset win last week against Brock Purdy and the 49ers. That was a big thing. I think that's going to be a momentum roller for them. Just like you said about Green Bay, you got questions with the tight end with Musgrave. You got questions about Aaron Jones. You got questions about all these guys. Minnesota, even though they don't have a JJ out there, they still kind of rolling. Addison stepping in, filling that role a little bit. Minnesota's still doing their thing. Cousins been balling the last 2 weeks. So I actually see that trend continuing to go. So I'm taking Minnesota in this game. And I like Cousins to throw for over 251.5 passing yards.
Yeah, I like the Vikings in this game as well. So you think they cover?
I think they cover to 1 point.
Yeah. So Christian Watson is a play for me in this game. I actually think this is it. This is like now or never for me. Kind of. Not now or never, but like we need to see it. This is a game where he needs to pop off, start getting some targets, some down the field targets. Yes, Addison is definitely a play. Madison's actually a play too. Steady old Madison just keeps being in the game plan. I think obviously Akers is there, but this is a great matchup for them. So I think Madison should be a.
It is a great matchup. The Green Bay Packers give up 143 yards rushing. Here's my worry, my concern in this matchup is even though I feel like Minnesota is going to be able to run the ball and they are going to move it on the ground, I'm a little worried that Akers is starting to take over the lead back. Last week is the first time we saw Akers out-touch Madison. He got 10 rush attempts and 2 receptions versus Madison's 8 and 2. So I'm a little worried that there might be a trend where Madison starts getting kind of pushed to the back and they start pumping Akers more towards the front of this backfield, where this might be a week where it might be a 60-40 Akers is my fear. So whereas it should be a good matchup for the backs, this is something where if Akers may be sitting out there, you may want to try to scoop him up off that waiver before this game kicks off, just to have him to see if you have that extra spot or you have a guy you're really not even in love with on your bench. Pull in Akers, just kind of have him before anything pops off so you don't have to worry about it in waivers if he does take over that spot.
Well, I will say Akers should be on a roster right now, so if he is floating out there, just definitely you should probably pick him up. All right. We like the Minnesota Vikings to win this game. Very well. On to the next one. Atlanta at Tennessee, the Arthur Smith revenge game. All right. We got Atlanta favored by 2.5 on the road at Tennessee. Tennessee is going to be using Will Levis, their second-round pick this year, quarterback. And then Malik Willis will be in the backup role, actually getting some snaps as well. But Will Levis will lead off, start the game. There's a lot of trade rumors with Derrick Henry and DeAndre Hopkins. They came out and said Derrick Henry is not going to get traded, which sounds silly to say because they need to trade him. But there isn't so much optimism about D-Hop. I think D-Hop might end up getting traded by Tuesday. Tuesday's the deadline. I would sit D-Hop today. I'm not playing D-Hop in this game. And I'm very hesitant about Derrick Henry, but I guess you got to roll him out there. How do you see this game going?
So this is a game I'm going to take Atlanta. I'm taking Atlanta to cover this game. I think they win. I think they win by the 2.5. They cover the 3. They get a 3-point win at least. Yeah. I know they are traveling into Tennessee. But this is a game, I remember last year when Malik Willis, remember everybody thought Malik Willis was going to be able to take over and Tannehill missed a couple games. Mm-hmm. they literally just fed Henry the ball. I think he had like 36, 37 carries in that game. And the whole thing was just turn around and get the ball to Henry. And he ran for like almost 200 in that game.
Recipe for success.
Exactly. So right now they got his rush attempts at 15. I'm taking over 15. I think this game with backup quarterbacks, I mean, they would be dumb not to turn around and just give the ball to Derrick Henry as much as possible to even be able to stay in the game. I mean, it is a tough matchup. Atlanta's only giving up 95 yards on the ground. But at the end of the day, this is Derrick Henry. This is one of the top backs in the NFL. So I don't necessarily lean towards that 95 being the number. I mean, it's a great number. It's going to be hard for him to get maybe yards, but you got to still attempt it and you still got to try it. So I feel like with a rookie quarterback and then playing 2 quarterback system, it's going to do the recipe is get the ball to Derrick Henry
all day. On the Falcons side, you're starting Drake London and you're starting Kyle Pitts. Bijan Robinson is the one that everyone's freaking out about Arthur Smith using them or not using them. Obviously, this is. I mean, what are you doing with Bijan?
You start him. I'm starting
right?
him this week,
like,
especially after last week. I feel like they owe him one.
Yeah, so, they owe him one.
You see all these times in these games with these teams, with these people come out and they cry. And I'm not saying Bijan cried about his situation. He kind of just took it for what it was. He says he had a headache and all that stuff. So
yeah.
I mean that makes sense. But I feel like with the way the media took it, I mean he only got 1 carry. That's they're gonna feed the man this week. I mean that's what they're gonna do. But it is against that Tennessee defense, which I mean they only give up 102. So I definitely see this be a very, very low scoring game. Right now the over-under on it's 35. I'm tending to say I want to play the under even.
Yeah. I mean, Tennessee has been ran on by decent offensive lines. Atlanta's not bad on the offensive line, to be honest. So I like Bijan in this game. One more to note is stash Tajay Spears just in case he's floating around. Please stash him. They say they're not going to trade Henry, but you never know. They could get a great offer and too good to refuse. So, and then Tajay Spears would be the guy left there. Yeah, I mean, pretty much. Hopefully Ritter could do his thing because usually he's doing all right. This is a pass funnel offense, so Atlanta should be doing all right. I like Atlanta also as a streaming defense as well. So if they're out there, that could be a streaming defense to work with as well.
Yeah, some player props I like here is Ritter going over 219, and then they got Drake London at 53.5. I'm taking over on both of those this week.
I like it. All right, moving on. New Orleans Saints traveling to the Indianapolis Colts. The Saints are favored by a point, over under 43.5. Basically, what I have here is Zach Moss is a game time decision, a true game time decision. He has a foot injury, a heel injury, so he's going to check it out. If he doesn't play, I mean, it's JT and Kamara show in this game. Michael Thomas was dealing with an illness, but they said he's probably going to play. So how do you see this game going, Coach?
Me personally, I'm picking Indy to win this game. I think they win this game at home. I think they win it outright. The New Orleans Saints is a team that just seem like they don't know how to win. They don't have an it factor. They just hang in there, and they let these teams either hang around or they hang around. There's no like definite anything on either side of this game. So I like the Indianapolis Colts. I think Minshew's going to come in there and do his thing. They got him at 219.5. I think he goes over that number. But it is definitely going to be a Kamara and a JT show. I feel like they still got Kamara disrespected. They got him over 94.5 as his total number. I'm taking that all day. That's an easy number to me, I feel like. So I see Indy being able to do whatever they want with New Orleans. I think they win this game.
Yeah, so Josh Downs you're playing from the Indianapolis side. He's, we said, Minshew's favorite target right now. It's going to be hard for Michael Pittman to get there today. He does have Marshawn Lattimore, who's playing out of his mind this year. So tough start if you're trying to start him. But if you have any other option, I would try to stay away from Michael Pittman. Chris Olave should be a good play today as well. And then the running backs, Kamara and JT all day. On the Taysom Hill, are we playing Taysom Hill? We got Juwan Johnson coming back. Taysom Hill did have a chest injury, but he's gonna play as well. He had last 2 games. He's been pretty decent. What are you thinking about him?
No, I don't know if I mean, I always struggle with the whole Taysom Hill playing him thing. I got asked yesterday whether it was Ferguson or Taysom Hill. I was like, I'm playing Ferguson over Taysom Hill. Yeah, I don't think I'm throwing out Taysom Hill, especially with Juwan Johnson coming back. I feel like
you gotta look and see how it is.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. We got the Patriots traveling to the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins are favored by 9.5 points with an over/under of 46.5. What do you see? How do you see this game shaping up?
I see Miami being able to win this game. We've already played them earlier this season. In week 2, we won by 10. Miami going to New England in that game. Them coming to Miami, Miami's scoring 30 points a game in Miami. So I'm taking Miami to win this game. The line's actually at 8.5 right now as of when I checked it out this morning. So I'm definitely going to be rocking Miami minus 8.5. I think they covered this line. And I'm probably going to look at Miami's total. With the score being 46, it's probably sitting at like 27.5 for the Miami Dolphins as their total points. I love that number. I think they're going to go over that. And I think Mostert eats as well against this New England defense. Last time we played them, they stacked everybody high when they were just trying to take the deep ball away from us and not let Tyreek Hill get behind us. I think they're going to come back in with that same strategy. And Mostert did eat against the New England Patriots that week, so I feel like he's going to eat again. And they got him listed at 68.5 total yards. So I'm going to rock over that because I think he runs for over that by itself.
I will say Mostert is dealing with a ankle tweak, but he said he will play. Ankle injuries, probably not the best injury for your running back to have, but like you said, they're gonna play back on us. At least they did in the first game. They probably will again. So I think Mostert definitely is a great play. Obviously, you're playing Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. I think Jalen Waddle eats today as well. Going to be over the middle. And then on the other side, there's actually 3 names that you could play on the Patriots side this week, in my opinion. You're playing Ramondre Stevenson. He's been heating up. He's been getting more involved in the passing game. But Kendrick Bourne, you got to play him. He's been eating. We're known to give up yards to the receivers over the middle as well because of the way we play our defense. So Kendrick Bourne, and give me DeMario Douglas, the little slot. They're going in and out. He's not high upside, not going to give you probably a touchdown, but he could give you double digits if you're in a pinch.
There is another one too out there actually. Hunter Henry against the Dolphins could be a good play. He scored in the first game against us. I believe he had 5 or 6 catches as well. Had a phenomenal game. That was back in week 2, and then after the first 2 weeks, Hunter Henry was considered the top tight end. He was outproducing Kelsey in weeks 1 and 2. So even last week, Goddard got into the end zone against us. Tight ends tend to find their spot against the Miami Dolphins defense. So Hunter Henry is also a play here as well.
All right. You have any bets for this game?
Like I said, Miami 8.5, and then I got Mostert over his 68.5. Even with the ankle injury, if he's going to be a go, I'm going to take it. Because behind him, it's just pretty much Jeff Wilson and Ahmed, and I like Mostert here in this spot.
All right, very well. Moving on, we got the Jets going to the Giants, staying in the same stadium. The Jets are favored by 3 points. How do you see this game going?
Man, this is something that up until yesterday I was picking the Giants. Up until this morning. This morning I started looking at it again, and I just feel like the Jets have what it takes to win this game. I'm looking at the Jets players and the defenses. They have a better defense than what the Giants have. And then I'm just looking at the weapons. I love Breece Hall in this game. I think he's going to be able to eat against the Giants defense. Mm-hmm. Also, give me Cook. He's one of those guys that came out in the media, like I said, and after they start talking, they tend to start to get involved a little bit. It's like the more you speak up, the more you get. So, I feel like his numbers are ridiculously low. They got him right now at 14.5 rushing yards, and they got him at a receiving prop of 0.5. So this is what Underdog had as of this morning when I was looking at it about 30 minutes ago. 0.5 receiving yards. This guy even last week covered that. So I don't understand. They feel like he's going to get completely buried? I don't think so. So I actually like both of those props and singled out props.
Yeah, with the whole Dalvin Cook thing, That would be a great story if he pops back up. But they've just ever since Brees Hall has shown that he's the dude, they give Dalvin Cook less than 20% of the snaps. Which, I mean, sure, he might get some. He might break his over-unders for sure, but I'm not playing him. We're not playing him this week.
No, I'm not playing him, but
okay.
I'll take his bets.
Yeah, definitely.
Like 0.5 receiving yards, I feel like that's...
yeah, that's disrespectful.
I mean, 14.5 rushing yards is one carry for somebody like a Dalvin Cook. So
right. Well, he had 3 for 12 last week. Last time he played. That's what I'm saying. That's why the line is so low.
I mean, I'm gonna take the dip.
Yeah. But yeah, I like the Jets as well. I think Garrett Wilson also has a nice game for DFS purposes, battle royales. I'm loving Brees Hall and Garrett Wilson in this game. And then on the other side, you got Tyrod Taylor, possibly taking over that team. He's looking all right. He's looking decent. He should be on 2 wins. They lost to Buffalo, but that should have been a win. And then they won last week. He's gonna keep that team fighting for them. Saquon Barkley is definitely a play just for the volume as well. So I like the Jets to win this game as well. Do you any more bets do you have in this game?
Yeah, like you were saying, I like Wilson. Wilson's prop is at five catches. I'm taking over 5 catches.
Yeah.
And then I got 92.5 total for Brees Hall. So I'm thinking he gets there for that as well. And then Waller's sitting at 4 receptions. I mean, that's who Tyrod's been favoring, so I feel like he's going to get that as well.
Very nice. All right, moving on. Jacksonville traveling to Pittsburgh Steelers. Pretty nice matchup in this one. 2 contending AFC teams right now. Jacksonville is actually favored by 2 points on the road with an over-under 41. How do you see this game going?
I'm going to be taking Pittsburgh and a coach that does not know how to lose. This man, all he does is win. It doesn't matter what's going on. I mean, his defense is giving up 400 yards of offense a week, but that defense is what still finds a way to win these games.
Yeah.
It's J.J. Watt. It's T.J. Watt making a play here, or whatever has happened to happen. They just figure out a way to get this thing done. If you look back to when they lost that game 30-6 to Houston 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, he came out and said it was embarrassing. It was ridiculous. That's not Pittsburgh football. Since that game, they beat the Baltimore Ravens 17-10, and then they beat the Rams 24-17. So the Rams and the Ravens have only combined for 27 points, and they gave up 30 to Houston. I feel like they're playing with fire. I think they got something to prove, and I feel like Jacksonville's going to get upset here today.
Yeah, my whole thing is where's Calvin Ridley? I don't know if you've seen him lately, but I haven't seen him. You're playing Calvin Ridley, though, just because you have to. And then Christian Kirk is definitely a play as well. He's been eating. On the other side, you got Jaylen Warren outplaying Najee. Is he a play this week?
I've been using him just because of his pass game. I mean, he's got you in the end zone last week. Actually, both backs scored last week. So, Najee's quiet. He's still getting 13, 14 carries a game.
Right.
So he's not going away, So Najee's prop is at 12.5 attempts. So I'm taking over that. I feel like that's what he's getting. That's their recipe to winning. And then Jaylen Warren at 18.5 receiving yards. I'm taking both of those props. I'm saying Najee still runs the ball and Warren's catching it out of the backfield.
Yeah, I love Deontay Johnson and George Pickens in this game as well. Pickens could have a monster game. We'll see how that goes. But I love them both for plays as well. Any more bets to talk about for this game?
Yeah, so I like taking quarterbacks that run the ball when I know they're going to have people chasing them. So Watt's going to be chasing Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is a guy who can run the ball. And they got his rushing total at 18.5 yards. Okay. So I like that prop just because I feel like he is going to have to take off a couple times. So you give me 18.5 on a quarterback that can run, and I'm going to take it.
And we're taking Pittsburgh +2.
Yes.
I think Pittsburgh wins as well. All right. Philadelphia traveling to Washington in a divisional matchup. Philly is favored by 7 points on the road, over under 43.5. How do you see this game shaping up?
I think Philly wins this game. They did struggle last time they played. Last time these two teams played, they went to overtime.
Yeah.
and Philly actually was able to pull out the W, and that was at home in Philly. So I feel like Washington's going to come ready to play. I see this still being a tight game, but I also see where Philly can cover the points. So as far as betting this game, I'm not liking betting it. The only thing I really saw when I was looking even at player props that I liked was Swift at 84.5 total yards. So I think he can get to 85.5 total in this game.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the bets on it, I don't really like it. I think Philly goes in. They should be able to win this game big. That's what I'm saying. I mean, they have a great defense, a stout defense. But Washington, when they played last time on the road in Philly, hung in there and still hung 30 on them. So that's what's got me leery of wanting to bet the game. They got the total. At the total, I can see. I don't like either side of the betting. I just want to take Swift in this.
Yeah, they have his line again at 3 receptions. You might as well take that over. He's pretty much cleared or pushed on that every game. So I'd like the 3.0 receptions over on DeAndre Swift. Dotson is someone I'm interested to see how he does in this game. I know we keep going back to this, but he's starting to show some signs of life last couple of weeks. And honestly, the Philly secondary is not that great. They've been getting beat. Darius Slay even has been getting beat. So I like them all to I like Dotson and McLaurin in this game as a play. If Dotson obviously is, if you're in a pinch, if you need him, I think he could get double digits. Curtis Samuel's actually a game time decision with a foot injury. It might even be that he not play, so he's a true game time decision. And then also Chris Rodriguez is someone to keep an eye on. Chris Rodriguez Jr., the running back for Washington. If you're interested to maybe stash him, last week he got 7 carries. He led the team in rushing. So, let's see what happens this week. Maybe it's Antonio Gibson gets phased out. I don't know what's going on there, but it's interesting to see. So I think he should be rostered just in case. That way you could beat the waiver wire curve if for some reason he's the guy this week again. But yeah, we both like Philly to take this game as well. All right, moving on. We have Houston Texans traveling to the Carolina Panthers. They're both coming off a bye. Houston is favored by 3 points on the road. That's it. How do you see this game going?
I think Houston wins this game. That's our team right there that we've been talking about since the beginning. It is a sneaky game. You got Carolina coming off the bye. Both teams actually coming off the bye.
Yep.
So Carolina at home, still trying to figure things out. Still trying to get that first win of the season. They're the only winless team so far left. But I don't think this is a matchup where they're going to get that. You got a battle of 2 rookie quarterbacks. I wrote down some numbers here. Bryce Young's only thrown for 967 yards on the season.
Is that good?
And Stroud has thrown for 1660. So,
yeah,
9 touchdowns for CJ, and Bryce Young's only got 6. So, I think, CJ Stroud's he just came into a good situation with decent backfield. He's also got his receivers there as well that were kind of in place for him, with Nico there being there. They brought in Robert Woods. I feel like he just has everything around him, huh?
Robert Woods is going to be out today. He's actually out 2 to 3 weeks.
But I'm just saying that the team he came into is much better than what Bryce Young. Bryce Young they just grabbed a bunch of misfit toys. Everything was just added this year with him.
Yeah.
So you're talking new quarterback. You bring in Adam Thielen. They brought in DJ Chark. They're bringing in Miles Sanders. They brought in Hayden Hurst this year. Everybody's just completely new, first year in this offense, and you're just seeing it. It's a very stagnant offense. But the other thing about Carolina's defense, they allow 144 yards rushing per game. So this is a game where I actually like Pierce to hit his rushing total at 52.5. I feel like he might pop off this week coming off the bye.
Yeah, definitely. This is a setup game, perfectly set up for the running backs of Houston. It's interesting to see what they're going to do with that, because the last time we saw them before the bye, Devin Singletary actually got a lot of love for the Texans. And we were on, or at least I was, on the buy low for Dameon Pierce, and then that happened, kind of threw a wrench into things. I'm very curious to see what happens coming into this game. One of them is going to eat, if not both. You definitely got to roll the dice with Damian Pierce just because he is the lead back. We're gonna wait and see on Singletary. On the receiver side, you're playing both of them, Nico Collins and Tank Dell. They should eat. No Robert Woods for the next 2 or 3 weeks, so that's good. And then you're also playing Dalton Schultz. He's a tight end streamer. He was eating before they went to the bye, so you got to roll with him. On the other side in Carolina, is this the Chuba takeover coming off a bye? Are they even going to bother with Miles Sanders? Or are they going to give the lead to Chuba Hubbard? So that's something to see. I am going to sit Chuba just for now, but there's a lot of buzz that he's going to be taking over. And then obviously Adam Thielen is a must play. They're actually been fielding calls for trades, kind of like it's almost like a dynasty team with an aging vet. Like try to get as much as you can for him. I think that would be a good move for them. I mean, they're tanking. They're 0-6, so it's not like they got any playoff hopes. They probably should get something for Adam Thielen while they can. But yeah, he's a definite start as well. We both like Houston to win the game. Moving on. All right. Cleveland at Seattle. Another big game. Both are 4-2. Cleveland is actually favored. Oh, no. All right. No. Seattle's favored by 3.5 points at home. Over under of 37.5. Seattle was dealing with a bunch of injuries. It turns out everyone's playing. So, yeah. I had all these notes for this game. Everyone's playing. So, Lockett's playing, DK's playing, Kenneth Walker's playing. So your JSN and your Zach Charbonnet, we're going to put them on the bench for now. We're going to see how that goes. And then on the other side, Cleveland, Jerome Ford is actually trying to play, which is interesting. But it's not going to deter me from playing Kareem Hunt at all. But it will deter me from Pierre Strong. The fact that Jerome Ford is even trying to give it a go means Pierre Strong is now droppable. And I would drop him before this game. Like, you're not going to play him in this game, so you might as well free up a bench spot right now before he gets locked in to the game. Just drop him now, create some space, and just in case you want to pick someone else up. That could be maybe on a bye or another defense next week or anything to get you a different edge. But how do you see this game going? Oh, also, no Deshaun Watson. PJ Walker is playing again. Go ahead.
Right. So going back to what you said about Pierre Strong, we've already given you 2 names, Akers, Tajay Spears so far throughout the show that shouldn't be out there. So those are people that if they're out there, you should drop Strong and grab one of them if you see them sitting out there.
Great.
Those are just 2 perfect names that'd be better, have more value, and have higher risk of actually being able to take over their spot.
Nice.
So those are 2 people. Singletary's another one. If he's still out there, drop Pierre Strong, get Singletary. There's a bunch of other backs out there that are in better situations
100%.
Than what Pierre Strong.
Chris Rodriguez.
So that's a great point to bring up. Right, Chris Rodriguez is another one. There's all these people out there that actually, with like you said, with Ford trying to play, Ford knows Kareem Hunt's a guy that could take that job and be the lead back, so he doesn't want to miss any time to give this dude an option where he can go in there and ball out for 2 straight weeks, and then Ford tries to come back off this injury, and they're like, yeah, bro, Hunt's been balling. Sorry, bro. They're like, you his backup now. So I feel like that's why he's trying to play. He's trying to force the issue just to kind of keep that spot.
Right.
But I see this game being very, very low scoring. The 37.5 is probably too high. I think this game's going to be under that. Even with the whole thing with the backfields, Seattle's rush defense is very under talked about. They only give up 87 yards per game, which is lower than what Cleveland does. Cleveland's at 93.
I know.
We talked about Atlanta's at 95. This is the best run defense in the league.
Yeah.
And if you're playing PJ Walker, you're going to have to lean on the run. And this is what this team does is they stop the run. So I really don't see Cleveland being able to score. You probably look at this and be like, oh, Cleveland just put up 30-something on Indy. Cleveland upset San Francisco. But going to Seattle, I think it's going to be different. I think Seattle pulls out the win. And I see the Browns maybe not even getting to 13 points in this game. So I see this game being more like maybe a 17-10, maybe even 17-7. Seattle wins this game.
Yeah, it's going to be an ugly game. I agree. Seattle's low-key. Their defense has been pretty decent. Are we playing Amari Cooper? It's a big one right here.
I actually like Amari Cooper in this game more than like the backs for Cleveland. So I think he's probably the best play on Cleveland. My only concern is last week we didn't see it with PJ Walker. Yeah. But where Seattle is so good in the run game, they do give up 260 yards passing per game. So I think this is going to be a game where Cleveland's going to get forced to have to throw the ball. I'm just not confident in PJ Walker to be able to carry that workload.
Yeah, so I mean, Kareem Hunt has to be played, though. I'm going to play Kareem Hunt.
No, he has to be played. Yeah, you play Kareem Hunt. I'm just saying.
Playing Mari Cooper and Njoku, maybe.
You play him.
Yeah.
Play him.
I mean, he's one of those that you could get. He's pretty athletic, gets down the field. On the other side, I'm playing everybody on this one in this game as well. Playing Kenneth Walker, playing Lockett, playing Metcalf. Call it a day. Any bets you got going on in this game?
No, I just like the under. Just give me.
Okay.
I don't see a lot of scoring. There's
Gotcha.
nobody I could really look at this and be like, I want to lock in on this guy.
All right, cool. All right, moving on. We got Kansas City traveling to the Denver Broncos. Kansas City is favored by 7 on the road. Yeah. How do you see this game shaping up?
I think KC's.
Sorry, I was going to say, I'm going to set it up. This is apparently going to be a lot of snow in Denver. There's already been snow. I have friends over there right now. They sent me videos. There's definitely, it's snowing. So, a lot of snow, apparently. So, carry on.
I still like KC. That leads me even more into I love Pacheco in this game.
Okay.
This is a Denver defense that we've seen been run on with the snow and the weather. Even if the elements are an issue, that's what you tend to run to is your run game. But with that being said, it's Patrick Mahomes. They're in Kansas City. They get the snow as well. They deal with this cold weather stuff. I still think the offense is going to be able to do what they do. So I'm actually loving all of Kansas City. I think Kansas City is able to win this game by more than 7. So I'm taking KC -7. I'm taking Pacheco over 84.5. Give me Kelsey over 76.5, and give me Rice over 42.5. And the snow just makes it even better. Give me that Russell Wilson INT prop.
Hey, yeah, this is gonna be a rough game for Denver. Kansas City low-key has good defense. They haven't allowed anybody to have 20 or more points in the season. So I like Javonte Williams. I think he's heating up on the Denver side, the running back. But he has a lot. He has a tough schedule coming up. He has KC now, and then he has a bye week. So he could be a buy low candidate coming up. Some people might be freaking out about him, but I see when I see the eye test, I see him ramping up. Pacheco explosion game. Rashid Rice is also heating up. He needs to be played. Kelsey needs to be played. I think we're sitting Sutton and Judy in this game. Not only is KC a great defense, but yeah, it's gonna be tough to be passing in the snow and all that. So I would like to sit those guys if I can. Not much else. KC wins this game handily. Moving on. We got Baltimore at Arizona. Baltimore Ravens are favored by 9.5 on the road with 44.5 over under. Right now, Kyler Murray's not activated off the pup, but he is healthy enough to be. So we'll probably see him coming up soon. And then on the other side, you got OBJ is heating up, in my opinion. So something to keep an eye on for him. He should be rostered as well, I think. So if he's floating around there, I think that's a name that you might want to pick up just in case they start using him more. How do you see this game going?
Let's not also forget, it's a revenge game for Hollywood Brown,
okay.
Former Raven. He over there with Arizona, so he's coming in hungry, wanting to prove something here. I actually think Baltimore wins this game.
Yeah.
When I was looking at the line earlier this morning,
Baltimore?
I like Baltimore to win.
Wow.
but the spread is now moved to 10.
Okay.
So I'm taking plus 10
Gotcha.
for Arizona. So I got Arizona plus 10, but I think Baltimore is able to pull this win out.
Gotcha.
And kind of hold them off. But I like Marquise Brown. They got him at 49.5 yards receiving. I think he's going to be able to go over that. I think like I said, he's going to come in with a point to prove, try to do something. But I also like Gus over 55.5 rushing yards. This Cardinals rush defense gives up 130 a game. He has kind of taken over now. He's getting
Gus Bus.
It's more of a like 70-30 split now, I think, between him and Justice. So I'm definitely going to take Gus over 55.5. But Cards keep this game close.
Yeah, I love Gus Bus in this game. Love Lamar and the Lamar Mark Andrews stack for DFS. Zay Flowers should eat as well. And again, like I said, OBJ is someone that you might want to keep an eye on. Stash him if you can. On the other side, I'm not playing any of the running backs. I don't care what you guys say. And then Marquise Brown is probably Marquise Brown and maybe Trey McBride. Trey McBride is a tight end streamer. No more Zach Ertz. He's getting a lot of targets. So he could be a tight end streamer for you as well if you need it. Michael Wilson's just a stash for now because we're waiting for Kyler Murray to get back. That way his value could be more elevated. But yeah, I love Baltimore to win this game as well. Any more bets that you have, or that's it?
That's pretty much it.
All right, cool. All right, moving on to the Sunday night football game. We got Chicago Bears traveling to the Los Angeles Chargers. We got Tyson Bagent getting another start. Sneaky if you're a DFS. Very sneaky. This is an Eckler get-right game for him. Hopefully he can pop back off. But one thing I want to say is the Chicago defense has been looking a little better recently. Granted, their competition hasn't been the greatest, but at least they, on the defensive side, have looked a little more formidable than before. So it's going to be interesting to see how that shapes up. How do you think this game goes?
I think the Chargers are able to win this game. But this is another one. I think Chicago, man. I love the 8.5.
Yeah.
I feel like I think Badgett's gonna come out and he's gonna do his thing. He kind of had a good game last week. They got his rushing prop at 11.5 rushing yards. That's something I think that he's gonna be able to hit. So I like that, but I also like Keenan Allen getting back in the mix, 82.5 receiving yards. I think he goes over that. But the Chargers, man, they're a team that can win. They beat Minnesota. They got a couple victories, but nothing by more than 4 points.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're going to be able to win the game just because they have more talent. They're a better team. But I don't think they're going to be able to put away Chicago, which is what you have to do. In order to cover a spread of 8.5 points, you have to put a team away. And I don't think they're going to be able to put Chicago away like that.
Yeah.
So I think Chicago's going to hang in there. So I like the Chargers to win, but Chicago also does take the 8.5 and pull that out.
Yeah, I love the Chicago plus 8.5. Just for the fact that, like you said, I don't think the Los Angeles Chargers are that great of a team, to be honest. I think they're pretty fraudulent. Their coaching is pretty fraudulent. When it gets down to the crunch time, they get more exposed, even more. Like, I like Chicago to cover. That's a great bet for him, in my opinion. In our opinion, I said. Eckler, get right game. Palmer is questionable. True game time decision. So is Gerald Everett. They're saying that Palmer is more likely to play than Gerald Everett. So if you guys were jumping on the Gerald Everett train like I was, it's time to maybe look for another streamer for this week. Don't drop Gerald Everett, but just look for a different streamer this week. Tyler Scott. Okay, so on the Bears side, you got Tyler Scott ramping up, another rookie receiver that's got some love last week. Let's see how he does this week. Might want to stash him. And then Roshan Johnson is coming back for the backfield. Deontay Foreman should be the lead back on early downs, but I wouldn't be surprised if Roshan gets to about 40 or 50% snap rate as well. So that could be a true committee right there. And then when Khalil Herbert gets back, it's just going to be a big mess. But yeah, for now, for this week, I think we're playing Deontay Foreman, right?
Yeah, you play Foreman. Johnson could be a sneaky play as well. But yeah, Foreman's proved his worth. I mean, 3 touchdowns last week. You can't really just write that guy off. He does it year in and year out. He comes in these teams. He just settles in as a second, third back, and then little before you know it, by the end of the season, this guy is getting 3 touchdowns in games. So he's just always somebody who's just stays relevant. He's just there doing his thing, and when he gets the opportunity, he capitalizes.
Yeah, so I would sit Roshan for now just to see how it goes. But yeah, we got to roll out Foreman. We're rolling out DJ Moore just because he's the number one receiver, capable of breaking any play at any moment. Are we playing Cole Kmet?
I mean, he's a great tight end. If you don't have a better option, then yeah, if you have Kmet, he probably is your best option. So you have to play him.
All right. And then on the other side, you have Gerald Everett. Like I said, it will be out. Josh Palmer, I'm not playing him even if he plays because, it's just I don't like people being that injured where it's like they got to like pregame warm-up to like figure out if they're going to play or not. Let's just sit him this week. And then Keenan Allen is obviously wheels up. Eckler's wheels up. All right. We both like shit. I like the Bears to win this game. I'm just gonna.
I mean, I see it. I see that world. Like I said, I think the Chargers don't know how to put people away, so they lose these close games sometimes, and that's why I really really love the 8.5 points.
And I don't think Vegas knows what's up with Badger yet. They're kind of like, I don't know. 8.5 for the Chargers, man. Like for real? Like
for real?
They're both only got 2 wins. Like I don't know.
Right. What's going on?
Yeah.
Something's not right.
Definitely plus 8.5 Chicago for me as well, for us.
But also, real quick, just before, we do got one more game to cover. Yeah. We got Cincinnati at the 49ers. Another 4 o'clock game.
All right. So Cincinnati traveling to the 49ers? Or no, 49ers traveling to Cincinnati?
No, it's Cincinnati's going to the 49ers.
Okay, Cincinnati's traveling to the 49ers. How do you see this game shaping up?
I think, right now the spread's 5 points. They're saying Brock Purdy's going to play. So he's already cleared the concussion protocol. So I do see the 49ers being able to cover that 5. Also as well, Cincinnati, that's a team that struggles, especially against good defenses. I think this 49ers defense is going to come in and kind of be able to bottle up. I mean, Cincinnati is coming off of the bye week, but, San Fran after back-to-back losses, I think this is a game where they're going to have to just kind of they have to pull one out, and I don't see San Francisco being a team that just loses 3 straight after starting undefeated. CMC, they got his rushing total at 74.5 yards against a rush defense that allows 142 yards a game. So I know he is dealing with that oblique, but he did play through that last week on Monday Night Football. So I don't see why he's not going to be playing today. So I'm going to take the over 74.5, and I also have Mixon going under 55.5 rushing yards against a defense that only gives up 79 rushing yards, when the Cincinnati offense only rushes for 69 anyway. So you're talking a very bad rush game against an extremely top-notch rush defense, and you got his rushing at 55.5. I think that goes under here in this situation.
Yeah, that was my fault. I have this right here written. I think so if you want to talk about buy lows, I think Mixon is a buy low. I think T. Higgins is obviously a buy low because he hasn't done anything yet. But I think this is actually a T. Higgins breakout game. It's kind of a bold take, hot take, I guess. But I think T. Higgins actually wakes up this game. You're playing Jamar Chase in your lineups. You're playing Joe Mixon in your lineups. Are you playing T. Higgins? I would say yeah. Right?
I mean, I'm saying you have to play T. Higgins. I say this, and it hurts me to say it. I mean, I drafted him in a league. I actually went Justin Jefferson and the number 101, and then when it turned around in the wheel, I just stacked up with the receivers because you had to play 3 flexes, and I went Devonta Smith. He's kind of been meh, and then I went T. Higgins, and that's just been god awful. Yeah. And then Justin Jefferson's injury is not a good year in that league. Mm-hmm. So definitely been rough going for me. But I'm playing him. I'm just got to plug him in. Got to go with it.
Purdy is looking to play. It's the quickest turnaround from a concussion ever recorded in history of the NFL.
We can't say that as a Dolphins fan. They say
something's weird about this, though. Something's weird about this.
They say that whole Tua thing from last year when the Buffalo game when he got up and staggered, and then we played him on Thursday night against the Bengals. that might be the quickest turnaround. Although they tried to say that wasn't a concussion against the Bills,
right.
But I can't let you say that because that was.
All right, but either way, he's playing. Quick. I mean, either way, he's playing. No Debo, so Ayuk should eat. I mean, he should do well. This is a tough pass defense from Cincinnati as well. So, but Whenever there's no Debo, it's a Kittle game. So Kittle, roll him out in your DFS lineups. I think this is a good spot for him as well. They're gonna need to use him. And then, yeah. So you like San Francisco to win this game?
Yeah, I like San Francisco. I mean, when I look at numbers, because I'm actually a number guy, the 49ers get 238 yards passing per game. The Bengals give up 232. The 49ers rush for 136. The Bengals give up 142. So the Bengals are going to give the Niners everything they want to do. Literally what they do on the regular is what the Bengals do.
But everything they wanted to do has been resulted in 2 losses last 2 weeks. So
yeah, but you're dealing with the McCaffrey injury and stuff. It's not the same. You were going up against the Browns defense is not the same as the Bengals defense. And then you go into Minnesota banged up off of that. And then Purdy suffered that concussion during the game or whatever.
Yeah.
CMC was going in there injured as well. And they were on the road in Minnesota against a team that pulls games out like that.
It's one of those things.
I feel like this Bengals thing is a little bit different, man. I think the 49ers are going to be able to handle their own. They're probably going to have a very low, I mean, the spread's 43.5 on the over-under, which is going to give you an implied score probably around 23 or 24 points for San Fran. Mm-hmm. I see them scoring 30 this week. Today.
It's one of those things where you talk about the traveling. San Fran's going through it right now. Like, it's going to be tough. I think Cincinnati has what it takes to come off the bye and take this game. So we'll see what happens. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's going to be a close game in my opinion as well. So, all right. Any other bets for this game you want to talk about?
All right. No, just the 2 backs. Like CMC's going over 74.5 and Mixon under the 55.5.
All right, cool. All right, so now the Monday Night Football game. The Las Vegas Raiders traveling to Detroit Lions. Rawr. Jimmy G is back. So he'll be back quarterbacking for the Raiders, which is a good sign for Adams and Myers. And then on the other side, we got full wheels up. No David Montgomery is obviously, so Jahmyr Gibbs is wheels up. How do you see this game going?
The Lions get back in the win column. They also are coming off of back-to-back losses themselves. I'm sorry, not back-to-back. They just lost to Baltimore. They did beat Tampa, but I think they're gonna right the ship. They got the Raiders coming to town. The Raiders are a team that struggles to score, so I don't even see the Raiders putting up 14 points in this game. So I think this is a game where they can cover the spread. So I see the Lions winning and covering the 8 points. All
right. So yeah, I like the Lions to win as well. Jahmyr Gibbs obviously wheels up. Great play today or tomorrow night. We also have Amon-Ra St. Brown, obviously rolling them out there. Sam Laporta rolling them out there. Are we playing Josh Reynolds today or Monday night?
Monday night? Yeah, you play Josh Reynolds. Put him in there. Roll him out.
Yeah.
You're not playing Williams. Jameson Williams is not a play.
Not a play. He did get more snaps. He's getting more snaps, so he's getting more involved. They do have a bye week next week, so it'll be interesting to see coming off that bye how they really feel about Jameson Williams. And then on the other side, Raiders, Jimmy G's back, so I feel more confident in playing Devontae Adams and Jacoby Myers. One thing that I'm not confident about, but I just have to do it, is freaking Josh Jacobs. It's a tough matchup. They've been using him really badly. Like, they don't use him enough. So I'm just curious to see how this goes, but you just got to suck it up and play him, I guess. It sucks when you're a Josh Jacobs owner right now. But yeah, we both like the Lions to take that game Monday night. Any bets in this game?
No, I haven't really looked at the bets for that game because they really don't give you the honest numbers until the day of as far as everything goes.
All right.
So I like to wait till the day of before I start.
All right, so maybe we come out tomorrow before the game. We're going to do a little post for the Monday night game to see if we can get some bets in for that game. All right. I mean, that does it for the Week 8 slate of the NFL. Again, a lot of games we had to cover. Basically a full slate, no bye weeks. Hopefully you're able to tail us and make some money with us. Hopefully you tuned in and got all the information in. We're going to come back to you with our waiver wire episode on Tuesday. We'll do a post, like I said, tomorrow night for the Monday night football games, but the actual episode We'll come at you on Tuesday for the waiver wire, and then we'll talk about, or we'll do the preview, the recap, and then we'll do the waiver wire. Is what I meant to say. So we'll do a recap of Week 8, and we'll do the preview or the waiver wire for Week 9. All these damn numbers in my head, but yeah.
I got your tongue twisted, bro.
But yeah, anything else you want to say for this week?
No, man. Like I said, we give you the stuff every week. We pretty much been giving you some solid stuff. We put out the stats all the time. Let you know how we're doing. We're very honest about it. We miss, we miss. We tell you we missed. We hit, we hit. So you get a lot more hits than misses from us. So hopefully you're listening. Hopefully you're making that money and taking it to the crib.
To the crib.